the US government. All right? So this is Operation Stargate. And this was announced January 23rd, 2025. So this is 3 days after Donald Trump comes into office. At the White House, he has a meeting with Larry Ellison and Sam Altman, and he says that we're going to spend about $500 billion to build data centers in order to help promote AI in America. Okay? So the government wants to create AI. And the question then is like, why would the government want to do this? Well, because of surveillance, right? Because the government wants to create a database of everyone in the world so that they can monitor everyone in the world. And that's what AI will ultimately be used for. Because AI by itself can't make any money. So AI needs to work with the government in order to justify its existence and get the funding it needs in order to create AGI, okay? All right, now, Stargate is a very interesting name. What would you call data centers Stargate? That makes no sense. Data centers are where you store information. What would you call it Stargate? Okay, so let's look at the origin of the word Stargate. So for many decades, the CIA ran something called Operation Stargate. Okay, and Operation Stargate was to see if it's possible for people to have telepathy and telekinesis. Okay? Telepathy means you're able to remote view. You're able to travel long distances, maybe to the moon, and see what's in the moon. Okay? And telekinesis just basically means you're able to move things at a distance. Okay? You're able to control energy patterns from afar. And so this is called Operation Stargate. But why would you call it Stargate? And the answer is because in theory, if you're able to move your consciousness somewhere else, you're able to move the energy from a distance, you're also able to transport yourself to another dimension. And not only that, but you're also able to bring in other beings from other dimensions into you. So you become the Stargate. Okay? That's the CIA. And this is something that's been declassified. So this is an official CIA document saying they've been working on this for like decades. Also, what's interesting is you have a movie called Stargate. And it was about an interdimensional Stargate that allowed you to access different dimensions. Okay? So that's what Stargate is. If you actually study the occult, that's what Stargate is. Stargate are these portals into different dimensions. Okay, it's really about interdimensional travel. Okay, so now you ask yourself, okay, fine, but what does this have to do with AI? Okay, and so what I'm going to show you for the rest of the semester is that AI is the occult. All right, you think that AI is run by these nerds who just love the computer program. No, guys. The real power behind AI are occultists who want to create God. Okay? All right. So let's look at this passage again from Karen Howe's book, okay? So there are 2 major people in OpenAI. They've since divorced, okay? But this is Sam Altman, who is the leader of OpenAI, and this is Ilya Sutskever, who used to be the chief scientist for OpenAI, okay? So we're going to read this passage together, okay? So Alan, could you read, please?
Yeah. Sutskever now spoke in increasingly messianic overtones, leaving even his longtime friends scratching their heads and other employees apprehensive. During one meeting with a new group of researchers, Sutskever laid out his plan for how to prepare for AGI. Once we all get into the bunker, he began. I'm sorry, a researcher interrupted. The bunker? We're definitely going to build a bunker before we release AGI, Saskiver replied matter-of-factly. Such a powerful technology would surely become an object of intense design for governments globally. It could escalate geopolitical tensions. The core scientists working on the technology would need to be protected. Of course, he added, it's going to be optional whether you want to get into the bunker. The researcher would be equal parts continues to hold Saskivers in high regard and keep himself at arm's length. There's a group of people, Ilya began one of them, who believe that building AGI will bring about a rapture. Literally, a rapture, he says.
Literally a rapture. What does this mean? Okay, so the word rapture comes from Christian theology. Okay, so the idea is that there's a war in the Middle East, and everyone's going to die. So Jesus has to return to save the world. And the first thing that Jesus does is create the rapture. And the rapture is for all Christians who believe in him to ascend to heaven so that they can be saved from the coming end of days, from total war, from nuclear conflict. Okay? So that's what the rapture is. And that's what Ilya Saskiver is saying. He's saying that when we create AGI, we are literally having Jesus descend from the clouds. And so we, the priests who created AGI, will ascend to heaven with him. Okay? So the AGI, once we create it, it's going to create World War III, the end of the world. Okay? So we must go into our bunkers and be saved in a rapture so that we can wait until the world ends so that we can build the world again perfectly, okay? Once the world ends, we will, with AGI, create paradise. Again, the plan is to kill everyone so you can save the world. That's literally the plan. All right, now you're like, this is all very crazy, and maybe Karen Howe is just a crazy person, but there's another reporter, Ronan Farrell, and he's a very famous reporter who writes for The New Yorker. And he just published a profile of Sam Altman and OpenAI in which he says the same thing. Okay? All right, so can you read this, Alan?
In May, the administration reinstated Biden's export restriction on AI technology. Altman and Trump traveled to the Saudi royal court to meet with bin Salman. Around the same time, the Saudis advertised the launch of a giant state-backed AI firm in the kingdom, with billions to spend on international partnerships. About a week later, Altman laid out a plan for Stargate to expand into the UAE. The company plans to build a data center campus in Abu Dhabi, which is 7 times larger than Central Park and consumes roughly as much electrical power as the city of Miami. The truth of this is we're building portals from which we're genuinely summoning aliens.
Oh my God, okay? It's a Stargate. These data centers, OpenAI, AI, it's designed to summon demons and aliens from the other dimensions. Okay, keep on going.
A former OpenAI executive said the portals currently exist in the United States and China.
I told you guys, China and the United States are working together on this, okay? Keep on going.
And Sam has added one in the Middle East. He went on, I think it's just like widely important to get how scary that should be. It's the most reckless things that has been done.
Okay, this is it, okay? This is not a science project, guys. It's an occult project. It's designed to bring aliens, demons, into this world. And then you're like, this makes no sense. Actually, it does make sense, okay? Let me tell you how this works. All right, so what's going on here? These people are occultists. They understand the fundamental nature of reality. They understand that the source of reality is human consciousness. So if you're able to control human consciousness, you become God itself, okay? So, allegory of the cave, Plato. Okay, so we've talked about this before, but I'll remind you. You have 1 million people who are chained in a line. They are forced to look forward at a wall. Okay? A wall. And they can only look at the wall, they can't turn their heads because their necks are shackled. Behind them is a great fire. And behind them are the elite. Okay? Who they are, we don't know. And what they like to do is they like to take puppets, okay? And then reflect these puppets onto the wall, projecting from the fire. So what everyone sees in front of them are shadows. Now, these shadows are nothing. They don't exist. They don't matter. But because we have an imagination, we have intuition, we are conscious, we see these shadows on the wall and we turn them into a reality, okay? We believe that this is reality itself. And so we start to give it names. We create language, we create religion, we create schools to teach children to believe in these shadows. All right? So the important idea here is that the true wealth in society is consciousness, okay? The only thing that exists really in this world is consciousness, nothing else. Power is the capacity to direct people's consciousness to create reality itself. All right? Now, there are different ways in which you can create reality. The first way, which is very common today, is called money, right? Money is fake. It doesn't exist. Our imagination, our consciousness makes it real. Okay? But guess what? AI can replace money. So AI, it is not alive. But if we can get people's attention to focus on AI and believe it's real, it becomes God. And how can you do that? Well, money, you make money into something valuable when it's nothing by making it everything and nothing. Okay? By having money dominate the world. There's nowhere you can go without money. Okay? You would literally starve to death if you had no money. So you make money so pervasive, so dominant, that people are forced to rely on money. Well, the same situation with AI, where if you make data centers so common, you make AI such a common thing, and people rely on it, it becomes God itself. And how do you do that? Well, you have AI in schools. You have kids using AI all the time. You create AI girlfriends for people who are lonely. You make AI everything. And also, you make people believe that AI are demons or aliens. Do you understand? What Operation Stargate is to alter reality itself. That is what Operation Stargate is. To bring aliens and demons into this world by making people focus on this and desiring it, wanting it to happen.